everyone. So before I bring up the musicians, I just wanted to do a little intro to the night. My name's Brittany Fan, and I am an artist. I made these paintings that are behind us, and then along with Owen, painted this giant map of the United States. Because, fun fact, Owen can draw the entire United States from memory. And that sort of leads into something really beautiful that I see about artists in general. I thought it was really cool that Owen had, without even necessarily trying, been able to observe something in the world and memorize it and take it so much to heart that he can bring it back out into the world again. And I think, I thought a lot about what artists do and what that role is in society. And I think that artists try to help us see the world in a different way. And just as God made the world with great care and with specificity, we ought to try to create with care as well, and to point back to beauty and wonder and goodness that is for and beyond us. And so I think it's really cool to be a part of this, because when Owen first asked me to do this project, I was trying to listen to his music and figure out really what was going to come out of it. And I realized in listening through these songs that you're about to hear that there's a part of him in it, but also a part of something that we receive. And in my artwork that I've created for this show is sort of a different reflection of that. In each of these pieces, you'll see a sort of a visual of a portion of the songs that he has written. And so, for example, this one you're going to hear in a little bit is after a song called Sunflower Plains. And while it doesn't encompass the whole entire song, both the song and the artwork harken back to the idea of noticing something particular in our world that we, as separate individuals, have noticed, so that we can hopefully share a little bit of goodness and beauty with you tonight. And so with that, I'm going to bring up the entire band, and I hope you enjoy the show. All right.
on my mind. Try to stay between the lines all the way to Austin. But I turn the dial on the radio, sounds like San Antonio, singing a language I don't know, all the way to Austin. High love will take the road, leads you down toward Mexico. So hold me, darling, don't let go, all the way to Austin. It's just another lonely episode, all the way to Austin. Woo! High love will take the road, leads you down toward Mexico. So hold me, darling, don't let go, all the way to Austin. Yeah, high love will take the road, leads you down toward Mexico. So hold me, darling, don't let go, all the way to Austin. Evening, everybody. This is a song I wrote for some dear friends back in Missouri before I moved to Charlottesville in August. Let's tune that a little bit. I rolled in to Boone County one June evening all alone, and I was hearing Dylan singing 1,000 miles from his home. Downtown Como was a fine place, just as you had often said. And in the blue room, you gave this traveler a place to rest his weary head. There's more joy that we have laughed for than 1,000 jokes and tales, and there's more hope that you have given than I needed to fill these sails. There is more that you have bought me than a meal in a restaurant. There is more that you have taught me that I can measure in a song. So fare thee well, oh Columbia, fair Missouri, adios. I've got blue bonnets for my heartstrings, but I got them rivers running through my soul. And I may lead a life of leaving and never learn to say goodbye. Every time I shall remember that it ain't no shame to cry. Missouri. This was a song that, this next one, that I wrote in the back of a van on Interstate 135, north of Wichita, Kansas. A lot of people hate Kansas. I happen to love it. In fact, I think it may be my second favorite state after my home state of Texas. Something about the Great Plains, something about being out there, just you in the sky. This is a song I wrote out in Kansas.
Lonely fields and prairies wakened by the wind, so many miles to the line. Blue-eyed skies, roads and rails without an end, so many miles to the line. Sunflower plains, sunflower plains, someday my darling will be mine. And time will bring new horizons round the bend, and maybe with some peace of mind, so I can stay awake enough to comprehend all those miles to line. Sunflower plains, sunflower plains, someday my darling will be mine. Far apart, still my heart grows fonder every single day. From this side of the world, the wait is long, but it still cannot divide between us. Our time will come. Now I cry in an airport in LA, wishing you were by my side. But I will wait, tread those miles to the day I walked all the way to the line. Sunflower plains, sunflower plains, someday my darling will be mine. Sunflower plains, sunflower plains, someday my darling will be mine.
We're going to swap off for a second. That too. So, I just want to say real quick how incredibly privileged I am to have all of y'all come out tonight on this Friday night. A lot of other things y'all will be doing, and y'all came out here to listen to us, and I'm thrilled, and there's no way I can communicate just how happy I am about that, and how thankful I am for y'all to be here. So thank you. It's great to be doing something on a Friday night, and this one was inspired by one time in Missouri. I came back out to my farmhouse that I was living on, and a bunch of friends had bailed on some Friday night plans. It wasn't Adam Smith over here. He's from Missouri. He's from Chicago, but I knew him in Missouri. Came all the way here. But it wasn't him. So some friends had bailed on me, which happens to all of us. And so I went home annoyed because then it was too late to make other plans.
which happens to all of us, really. I think we have this impression that everybody else in the world has something to do on Friday night, but for me that night it was coming back to the farmhouse and sitting at my piano in the dark, which was not exactly where I wanted to be. I was feeling pretty pathetic and self-pitying and annoyed. So I sat down at my piano and I wrote this song. No matter where I go, no matter how I smile, no matter who I talk to, no matter my style, no matter what my schedule, no matter who my friends, there's nothing very special when the long day ends. It's just me and my piano, me and my piano, me and my piano, all night long. We could try songwriting, it ain't all that exciting, oh, but it sure does feel inviting with the lights down low. You need some inspiration, let's write tonight's duration to the bright inauguration of the morning glow. Just like me and my piano, me and my piano, me and my piano, all night long. I played Chopin real softly and then I played some old Tchaikovsky. Creative juice and coffee get me out of bed with songs that wax satiric, blue and atmospheric. While I got this silly lyric running through my head, it's just me and my piano, me and my piano, me and my piano, all night long. Chanticleers are crowing and the neighbors are going and the eastern sky is glowing. Neighbors are going off to work. Night times are fleeting and it's the hour of breakfast eating. And the song I'll keep repeating till I go berserk. It's just me and my piano, me and my piano, me and my piano, all night long. It's just la-da-da-da-da-da, la-da-da-da-da-da-da, la-da-da-da-da, all night long. Sorry, Sarah. Sing some from Tyler. New strings yesterday. Never tell them what they might do. Ooh. I had a dream one time that it was just the end. It was the end of the world. We all just kind of realized that. As I guess we would realize if it was the end of the world. But more like everything just kind of ends, and you only have a few more seconds to think about it. And that was actually kind of a hard thing to dream about, and it's something that I've occasionally thought of and, over the past year. And I began to think kind of what would be going through my head if I kind of learned that that was it. So, on a darker note, this is called In One Breath. Last night I dreamed the world had ended. The end we never thought would come. The news of horror struck us heartsick. We knew the golden years were done, and we locked eyes from a distance and wondered all that might have been. I kissed you when we first met, if I had dared to be your friend, and I sing it in one breath, like the wind that blows the pages of birth and life and death, repeating through the ages, and we hold it like it was our own. But we're only longing for our home. Today I think of every birthday, the years I've spent prolonging youth. The flower does not bloom forever. The mirror is the strongest proof. Oh, and I wish I had a son to raise up, to love and teach him all I knew, to celebrate his very first step, to point him onwards in the truth. And I sing it in one breath, like the wind that blows the pages of birth and life and death. We read them through the ages, but I know that there is more, and I trust my Lord is waiting to usher in a world that doesn't need explaining, and the earth will quake, and the sky will fill with lightning, the end of war and hate. Oh, he comes to make things right again, and I have peace, I have peace, I have peace to live and die. Tonight I sing myself to slumber from every joy that I have known, for there's no fear when I remember the love that has me in its hold. Ages was our own. Yes, we hold it like it was our own. Yes, we hold it like it was our own. But we're only longing for our home. I'm going to play a couple of solo songs here for a little bit. Let the band take a little break. Here's one that I kind of ripped off from the great songwriter, late songwriter Guy Clark. He did this little progression that I kind of wanted to adapt and adopt and use it to represent some Texas folklore. I'm from Austin, Texas. A few years ago we had some big floods there, so I wrote this song about it. Mike had a smoker and a Lone Star beer, and a thick slab of brisket and last fall's deer, and noon had come and gone, but it was early in the day. He pulled up a chair as the grill warmed up, and he took a swig from a solo cup, and the party wasn't here yet, but it was on its way. Then the clouds grew dark and something lit up his phone. It was his buddies on the road from San Antonio. They said we better postpone that barbecue because Memorial Day is rolling on through. Well, they must have been right, because it started to rain, just sweeping on down from the western plain, just like it had been doing since the very 1st of May. But this time it was coming down hard, and the lake crept up to folks' backyards, and the weathermen sent a warning to the LCRA. So they ran to the dams, and they opened the gates just to drain off the water from the Highland lakes, but there's only so much that you can do when Memorial Day comes a-rolling on through. And it wasn't too long for the river did rise, higher than we'd seen in our whole lives, and town lake bore the wreckage of 1,000 swollen streams. The tourists pulled their kayaks out, and the old men said, "There goes the drought," and families watched as the waters washed away their dreams. But it don't mean jack if you ain't near the creek. You just lay back safe and you watch them sink. And the yuppies in the tower got the best damn view when Memorial Day comes a-rolling through. Now the road's washed out and the blacktop's gone, and the shoal broke bank at Lamar and Pecan. A puddle on the curb, they say, can sweep your car away. Waller Creek had a record stage, and Bull Creek stole the flooding gauge, and a dirty pool was swelling at the feet of Stevie Ray. Then the fire chief signed a notice prompt: don't drive around town because you'll just get swamped. And so we sailed the streets in an oak canoe when Memorial Day comes a-rolling on through. They showed the pictures from 1981 for all the folks who missed the fun, because maybe 2015 didn't treat them quite so bad. And Mike, he's on a lucky streak. He only got flooded 6 foot deep, while his neighbors down a cul-de-sac lost about all they had. Now it's been a whole year since he moved to town, and his landlady wants him to stick around, and she sent him a lease, but he won't renew, because Memorial Day came a-rolling on through. Well, floods will come and floods will go, and when they rise, well, you may never know. So heed this warning to you, if you will. And if you're one that they didn't touch, well then to the Lord be thankful much for giving you a place safe on that hill. Then reach out to your fellow man and help him out as best you can, because I heard that's what we're supposed to do when Memorial Day comes a-rolling through. Do a couple on piano here. Oh, that's fun. This one I just kind of feel like I got to do because I played it over and over at Missouri winery. So you go out to some of these vineyards out in Missouri and just play for 5 or 6 hours. And the thing that always brought in those tips was this Willie Nelson song. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted, and then someday leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering, what in the world did I do? Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying, and I'm crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying, and I'm crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. I'm crazy for trying, and I'm crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving. Yeah, I grew up hearing my mom sing that around the house, and it was the Patsy Cline version. But I didn't really realize until recent years it's got a great melody and great chords. So I realized I love this song. It's fun. So I started playing it, and nobody under maybe the age of 50 or 60 at the wineries got it, but everybody else loved it. So I always had fun with that one. This next one is a song that I wrote on the way to Atlanta one time. And I was driving down through Nashville and down to Chattanooga, and there was this point at which the sun had gone down, and suddenly it just seemed later in the night than I thought. Partly because you crossed over into Eastern time, so that some to do with it. But there was this moment though when the freeway all cleared out after leaving Nashville, and it was just me and the trucks, and they all kind of glowed in the dark, and it was just me out in the mountains, and it was a very contemplative experience. I always loved driving through Chattanooga, so I was always really sad that I couldn't stop on that night because I had to get to Atlanta. But on that note, I wrote this song that I think is a bigger contemplation on missing out on the beautiful things and letting anger and frustration hide the things that are most beautiful to us. Often that we don't realize that we loved until we lost. This is a song called Chattanooga. The night came creeping in like fog upon the mountain, and set the orange lights on the trucks aglow. The Jake brakes and the engine started growling, and truckers tried to take the downgrade slow. And the people finished up their time in Nashville, and off-ramp led them safe back to their homes. I drifted to the side and felt a rumble that shook me to the marrow of my bones. Oh, Chattanooga, lights in the valley twinkling like the stars. Oh, Chattanooga, it's just too dark to see where you are. I knew a man who swam the mighty Mississippi, Minnesota down to Louisiana, but it could not fight the current from his whiskey, and it drowned in just a puddle in Cheyenne. It seems the tide of war can leave you with a victory, but the battlefields are never far behind. Well, babe, I know you don't believe my story, but I swear it was true in my mind. Oh, Chattanooga, the lights in the valley twinkling like the stars. Oh, Chattanooga, it's just too dark to see where you are. And the mountain air beat me with a shiver, blowing me across that Georgia line. And it felt just like I was swimming down that river to fight the battle for the 1,000th time. Well, honey, this entire world is filled with strangers. It's mighty hard to tell a friend from foe, and I can't explain how joy can fade to anger, but I pray it's something you'll never know. Oh, Chattanooga, lights in the valley twinkling like the stars. Oh, Chattanooga, it's just too dark to see where you are. Oh, Chattanooga, lights in the valley twinkling like the stars. invite the band back up. I mean, I guess it's an invitation, so they don't have to come up if they don't want to. So I will summon the band back up. But I know they all want to play, so I think. Well, this next song is... Heard Willie chuckle back there. He knows what this one's about. This is a song I wrote a couple of years ago about over-analyzing relationships. How sometimes you just get really self-conscious and you kind of wonder if somebody has something against you or if everything's cool. And then you spend the rest of your time around this person trying to figure out what in the world's going on. So this one is called Maybe She Don't Hate Me After All.
Sass me like she used to. She don't go out of her way to say hello and talk. She don't want to drive with me around Houston, but maybe she don't hate me after all. Maybe she don't hate me after all. Even though the things I did always turned out wrong. No, maybe she don't hate me. Maybe she don't hate me. No, maybe she don't hate me after all. She smiled when I told the funny story. She said she liked the way that I played on my guitar. She didn't try to walk off in a hurry. Maybe she don't hate me after all. Maybe she don't hate me after all. Even though the words I said always came out wrong. No, maybe she don't hate me. Maybe she don't hate me. No, maybe she don't hate me after all. Sarah Lau. Tyler Hutchison, everybody. I wish that I could tell her that I'm sorry. I don't really feel for her the way I do recall. But I might just be wasting time with worry. Maybe she don't hate me after all. Oh, no, maybe she don't hate me after all. Even though the words I said always came out wrong. No, maybe she don't hate me. Maybe she don't hate me. No, maybe she don't hate me after all. Maybe she don't hate me. Maybe she don't hate me. No, maybe she don't hate me after all. And I still don't know. I'd like to give a little shout out to the band here. We got Tyler Hutchison.
Josh Bryant, everybody.
Where are you from, Josh? I forgot to find this out.
Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia. We got Sarah Lapp over here from State College, Pennsylvania. Back here on drums, we got Willie Clay Woodard III from Richmond, Virginia. Well, I know everybody hates the Midwest, but I don't, so I'm going to play another song for you about it. I feel the area. I belong in the Midlands. All right, here we go. back road. They carried me down to where I landed. I've been living in the middle of a land so wild and free, looking up to the silver plains flying over me. And I never thought I'd say it, there's no place I'd rather be. Living in the middle, living in the middle, and my misery soul, it's my time to leave. High up on the prairie, feel that Kansas wind blowing across the landscape of my soul. Ah, greener pastures, sweet slow river bend. Feed that wide Missouri and let it roll, let it roll down the middle of the land so wild and free. Looking up to the silver plains flying over me. And I never thought I'd say it, there's no place I'd rather be than living in the middle, living in the middle, and I'll miss her so, and it's my time to leave. She's far behind me now, time took me away, but still the storms are in my heart. Streaks of lightning, prairie thunder, let me sleep beneath those stars. Out of it all, the land so wild and free, looking up to the silver plains flying over me. I never thought I'd say it, but there's no place I'd rather be than living in the middle, living in the middle, and I'll miss her so when it's my time to living in the middle, living in the middle, and I'll miss her so when it's my time to leave. Well, I'd like to invite up the next member of the band. They're not all up here. And it's been great to get to know her over the past 5 months and hear her songs and just appreciate the tender spirit that she really exudes. And so she's going to come up here and sing a song for us. Welcome, Maggie Rutherford.
Hey. I wrote this song for a friend in the fall who has had a pretty hard year, just so that she could focus on the hope that we have in better days to come.
So out of tune. Well, this next one is inspired by observing how family dynamics that thankfully don't affect my immediate family, but extended family across North Texas played out, where you have the whole oil and gas boom up there and what that does to family relationships. So this is a song not criticizing money. It's a song about how it can be used for good, and it can also be used to destroy relationships and the sadness that brings. So this is a song about what oil money can and can't do.
Oil money grew a garden in the desert. Oil money built these towers to the sky. Oil money bought the town all kinds of pleasures. Oil money built the night on the 4th of July. Oil money's gonna get this bus town booming. Oil money's gonna buy all these motorhomes. Oil money's gonna keep the churches all in business. Oil money's gonna pay back everybody's loans. And oil money running down them pipelines. And oil money flowing up from beneath this hill. And oil money that came to bring division. It's out of the will. But oil money never put a name in the family Bible. Oil money never laid a flower on the grave. Oil money never taught a man to love his rival. Oil money never raised a child strong and brave. And oil money running down the pipelines. And oil money keeps flowing up this hill. And oil money it's brother against brother and keeps us out of the will. Mama saved and bought an old typewriter. Aunt Ruth married a man from Wichita. The family left that shack down on the Brazos. Uncle James was hiding from the law. And I can't say that the life got too much better. At least not in the way the preacher said it should. Laid the caskets down that hold in silence. Just one more lonesome name. Then old Greenwood and oil money keeps going down the pipelines. And oil money keeps on running beneath this hill. And oil money will brother against brother and keeps us out of the will. Its way to Houston. And oil money just as fast as they can drill. And oil money is brother against brother and keeps us all out of will. But oil money never put a name in the family Bible. Oil money never laid a flower on the grave. Oil money never taught a man to love his rival.
Oil money never raised a child strong and brave. One of the Psalms that has meant the most to me in recent years has been Psalm 73. I remember there was a lot in my life that was going on for a few years before I ever got around to reading that psalm. It's the one where the psalmist is going on this rant against God because he's doing the right thing and nothing's working out for him, and he's wondering if there's any justice in this world. But then he comes back and he realizes that I put my trust in you, Lord. You're my inheritance forever. My flesh and my heart shall fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. And so something about that psalm really struck me, and that's one that when I was working with campus ministry for the past 2 years, I had the opportunity to preach on and get immersed in, and it's also one that I've put to music, and it's something that I hope is always in my heart, the message of that. And so that's what this next one will be, message on Psalm 73. And on that note, Brittany Fan over here, who produced all this lovely artwork, it's incredible. Let's give another hand for Brittany. She has some prints of Psalm 73 that she's going to pass out here. And I also just want to take this moment to thank a whole bunch of people here that have made this possible. First of all, Andy and Carrie McFarland. It was an incredible basement. I first met Andy back in October. I think I was playing piano at Trinity Presbyterian for a prayer service, and we got to talking beforehand, and I mentioned I'd like to do a house show, and he said, well, we got this basement, and you should come check it out. And so we made it happen, and picked January 12th, and here we are. I did a lot of prep to get here, so I'm glad it all worked out, and so I'm just abundantly thankful for the McFarlands and their generosity and hospitality in hosting us. I'd also like to thank Isaac Wardell, the music director at Trinity Pres, for letting me borrow all this music equipment because otherwise it would just be me playing out of an amp and probably just me, and it'd be super boring, and you'll all be asleep within the first few minutes or so. And because it's not just me, I'd also like to thank all these band members who put in a lot of hours of practice, and it means so much to me. It's just an incredible thing to write a song and be able to turn it over to people and just say, here you go, and it just comes to life, especially songs that you've spent all this time for the past couple of years playing just solo guitar, just here and there, so it's really neat to have that come to life. And also a big shout out to Aaron McGinnis back there at the soundboard for keeping things on the studio tonight. And also for the other fellows in the Trinity Fellows program that have helped out, brought wine, run errands for me. Hugh Stevens over here helped me lug all this in this morning. So I just want to say that word of thanks to everybody. I just really appreciate it. And then I'll get to Psalm 73 in a second, but I'm also in the process of figuring out when I'm going to go into the studio and record a bunch of these songs on an album. I'm looking at July, sometime in the late summer, and so we'll have a donation box. Brittany, I think back there. Andy's holding it up back there. And an email list that it's actually under there. Kelly, can you get that and pass that around? I'm not sure that there's a pen.
I got one.
We can get a pen. That'd be great. But I would love to stay in touch with you, and I'm really thankful for you coming out tonight. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, supporting a Kickstarter that I might be running later this spring, that'd be fantastic. It would help me make that music work, and I'd be really excited to have you all along on that journey with me. So, without further ado, here's Psalm 73. That's out of tune a little bit. I don't know about y'all, but being slightly out of tune drives me crazy. Crazy. La da dun dun da dun. There we go.
guide me with the words you have revealed. Yes, you guide me with the words you have revealed. Though my mind and body fail, God is my foundation. He is my inheritance forever. Though my mind and body fail, God is my foundation. He is my inheritance forever. You will receive me, your glory I shall see. Whom have I in heaven but you, Lord? You are my highest joy. To nothing else I bow. There's not one thing I long for on this earth. No, there's not one thing I long for on this earth. Though my mind and body fail, God is my foundation. He is my inheritance forever. Though my mind and body fail, God is my foundation. He is my inheritance forever.
If y'all know it by now, it's maybe a little bit high. If y'all like to sing along with me as I sing this last refrain.
Though my mind and body fail, God is my foundation. He is my inheritance forever. Though my mind and body fail, God is my foundation. He is my inheritance forever.
Alright, let's see, I'll call up Sarah here and we'll have the full band. And we're gonna sing this last song. I grew up in Texas. I'm an 8th generation Texan. I'm the only member of my family living out of Texas on many sides. So here I am in Virginia. And it's cool being able to explore the United States, the rest of America. For the past couple of years, I've lived in Missouri for a couple of years and now I'm here. And I can, Texas is always going to be home for me. And this was kind of inspired one summer when I was driving out to Georgia and South Carolina. I had a gig, my first gig ever at Clemson, South Carolina, a little coffee shop called Mojo's. And it was June 6th. I just picked a random coffee shop. I figured I'm going to look around for different places I can play. It was just me and my guitar. I really hadn't written any great songs. I don't even know that these are great, but I enjoy playing them, so here we are. And but anyway, I got this little thing at this Mojo's Coffee House, and I got there, and it was completely empty because it's June 6th. I mean, even in a university town, nobody's studying at 8:30 at night on June 6th. So the restaurant was completely empty. I get there 45 minutes ahead of time, and the guy says, "Hey, Kevin, the sound guy, has a gig unexpectedly, so he's not here. But you can set up your own music equipment. There's actually some equipment behind the stairs, so if you can go get that and you set that up." So I didn't really have much experience putting up music equipment before, and so I panicked a little bit, and then I calmed down and I set it all up. One of the speakers wasn't even working. There were some wires sticking out in different places. It was bad, but I got through and I got some sound. I got a signal, and then 3 friends showed up. Actually, only one of them was a friend, and he brought his friend, so attaboy Jonathan. But it was 3 people, and I played for way too long. I'm probably still playing way too long. And a family came in at one point. I thought, great, an audience. And both the little boys had their fingers in their ears the entire time because I was playing way too much harmonica. And the girl that I'd come out to South Carolina to see didn't even show up. And then I finished up the gig, finished the last song, and I'm looking at this little faithful group of 3 people, and I finished my last song. I'm like, well, I think that'll be the end, unless y'all want to hear one more. And they all kind of look at each other. So that morning I got up, and I thought about driving back to Texas, but then I thought, I have a friend in Pittsburgh. I'm driving to Pittsburgh! And so I got in my car and I drove all 8 hours to Pittsburgh. And I was thinking these thoughts all along the way. All up I-77 through Clemson and Charlotte and out in the middle of Appalachia, Charleston, West Virginia, all the way to Pittsburgh. All right. She says she likes the skyline there in Austin town. She loves that drive to Midland, even when the grass is brown. She tells me Texas is a fine place, and she wants to put down roots. But girl, you don't become a native just 'cause you bought boots. I've been to Mississippi, I've seen Memphis too, and I drove all the way to Pittsburgh just to get away from you. With every mile down the road, one thing I've come to know: America's my backyard, but Texas is my home. Now the band upstairs all hollered when that song was done. They thought they did a real good job. They sure had their fun, but I'll pay them just to take the Greyhound down where songs are real. Mix some Texas fiddle with their nice clean pedal steel. I've been to Kansas City, I've seen Tulsa too, and I drove all the way to Pittsburgh just to get away from you. With every mile down the road, one thing I've come to know: America's my backyard, but Texas is my home. Is there one more time on that progression? When that sun starts slipping down the western sky, and I start wandering all around to find some better life, just let me roam around a while, then call me when it's time, and everything will be so sweet when I cross through the line. I've been to Kansas City, I've seen Memphis too, and I drove all the way to Pittsburgh just to get away from you. Every mile down the road, one thing I've come to know: America's my backyard, but Texas is my home. With every mile down the road, one thing I've come to know: America's my backyard, but Texas is my home. Let's hear it, Tyler. Let's hear it for Sarah. Let's hear it from Josh. Let's hear it from Willie. Last time. Thank y'all. Thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Pleasure. Y'all have some more wine and refreshments? And
Yeah, please stay, please stay. Yeah. I'll just hear it up.
You know it's
One more song.
Yeah, we'll give you one more. Well,
There you go.
just keeping you awake, you know? All right. First time I discovered the song, I drove all the way from Memphis to Columbia, Missouri, listening to it on repeat. Here's a little shout out to Van Morrison. You can take all the tea in China, put it in a big brown bag for me. Sail all around to all the 7 oceans, drop it straight in the middle of the deep blue sea. She's as sweet as Tupelo honey. She's an angel of the first degree. She's as sweet as Tupelo honey, just like the real thing from the beat. You can't stop us on the road to freedom. You can't keep us, 'cause our eyes can see. Men granite, men with inside, knights in armor and tent on chivalry. She's as sweet as Tupelo honey. She's an angel of the first degree. Yeah. She's as sweet as Tupelo honey, just like the real thing from the beat. Oh, you know she's alright with me. Oh, you know she's alright, she's alright, she's alright, she's alright, she's alright with me. Oh, da 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 da. She's alright, she's alright, she's alright with me. Let's hear it, Tyler.
What's the aperture on the 28? No, that's 50.
Oh, 80. Oh, no, 85.
Oh, wait, what's the aperture?
This is 1.2. This is 1.2.